What is the rationale for GST in India? Our constitution started on a wrong footing, which said that the federal government cannot levy sales tax on goods and the states cannot levy sales tax on services. I don't know what constitutional framers had in mind. So this is the constitutional amendment which we are trying to overcome, where the federal government can now levy on goods and states on services. So every time I go to the state government, they keep on quibbling about 1%, that we are a manufacturing state, that we will lose CST of 1%, and so on. I don't worry about it. You are getting 50% of your tax base in services to tax. Increase competency in the services tax, and you will make up for the revenue that you might lose. So the first is the constitutional authority is needed. Then only we can move forward. Then lot of distortions in logistics costs, compliance costs, distinguishing between goods and services. How much of litigation going on between what is a good, what is a service. Today you can't say what is a good, what is a service, because a lot of the things are like mobile phone. As a good, it has not real value. All is in application, which is services. So what is a good, what is service? We will avoid all that, accentuated by each state levying its own sales tax on goods and other distortive taxes as excise, entry tax. A lot of this will go with the GST to remain competitive and deepen international linkages. From origin to destination, again, because of the way the Constitution was framed, we levied sales tax on an origin basis, that is where the goods are produced. But world over, the principle is that you have a sales tax because it's a tax on consumption. You levy it where the consumption takes place. That is a destination basis. That is the global rule. And we will now move from origin to the destination basis under the GST. That's going to be a major change to potentially improve accounting standards. Now, what is not realized, VAT is not old, is not new. It was levied in 1950s. And in Europe, why did they levy VAT? Is because they were afraid that their businesses are losing out to the American businesses who had superior accounting standards. So VAT was done to improve accounting standards. And hopefully it will happen in India as well with the GST, because you have to now have value added. And that will, in a more comprehensive way, and we'll have database through the GST and others of that, so that our accounting standards will improve, and that will be a huge competitive advantage for India. All the above is undertaken in a federal government. GST is the most ambitious that globally that any country has done. The reason is that we are having a dual GST in a federal structure. Only Canada has some form of a dual GST. Brazil has it, and that's about it. Australia is another country, but in Australia, the federal government doesn't keep any revenue, but makes all the rules for the states. Okay, so they have worked out their arrangement as to how they will do it.